Advent began later this year than usual, so we're already in the fourth and final week. Today, in our last video, we'll reflect on an event in Jeanne Jugan's life, which, after the founding of the community, was perhaps the most pivotal moment in her life. On December 23, 1843, Jeanne Jugan was suddenly and inexplicably deposed as superior of the servants of the poor by the young priest who had been appointed to assist the fledgling religious community. From that day forward, she would be the simple collecting sister, while one of her companions, many years her junior, would become the new superior. 2 days before Christmas, Jeanne's life was turned completely upside down. This was the beginning of a long descent into obscurity. Jeanne Jugan lived another 36 years, much of this time at the mother house of the congregation, where her true identity and accomplishments as foundress were passed over and eventually denied. By the time she died in 1879, the young sisters among whom she lived had no idea that she was even the foundress. Think about it. You and I might get upset if our Christmas tree turned out to be a Charlie Brown tree, or our cookies got burned. We might feel crushed if our beautiful decorating or gift wrapping went unnoticed. On the other hand, 2 days before Christmas, Jeanne Jugan was subjected to an inexplicable humiliation, a grave injustice that would forever change her life, and yet she uttered not a single word of revolt that we know of. How can such humility be explained? More than any other spiritual tradition in the Church, the French school, to which Jeanne Jugan belonged by virtue of her Eudist formation, lingered over the incarnation in Mary's womb and the period of Christ's infancy. It referred to the Word becoming flesh in terms of poverty, abasement, and powerlessness. Yet, God emptied himself out of love. The goal of God's profound humbling was to lift us up high. I think that Jeanne Jugan was able to accept the situation because she had spent her whole life striving to be like Jesus in his humility and self-emptying, and she knew this was a matter of love. She took seriously his words, "Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart." The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. And he who exalts himself will be humbled, but he who humbles himself will be exalted. In our day, we tend to run away from anything involving humility, poverty, or self-emptying. And I think it's safe to say that these are not the virtues we naturally associate with Christmas. We all know John 3:16, God so loved the world that he sent his only Son. But we like to see these words on glittery ornaments and Christmas cards, not in the rudeness of a stable or a cross. We want to make Christmas a fancy affair, but the incarnation was a matter of radical poverty. Jeanne Jugan can help us to remember that. Perhaps before the manger that Christmas, she listened to Jesus speaking to her heart. Be at peace, my daughter. I emptied myself and came down to earth for love of you. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart. We all face difficulties and humiliations. There are even certain moments in our lives when we experience powerlessness, poverty, or dependency. If you are experiencing any of these conditions this Christmas, ask St. Jeanne Jugan to help you identify with Jesus, poor, meek, and humble of heart in his incarnation, and in this way to maintain your own peace of heart. And above all, remember why Jesus emptied himself to become a helpless infant. He did it for love of you and me. I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of all the little sisters and residents around the country to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much.